case against Karmelo Anthony in the stabbing death of Austin Metcalf during a Frisco track meet is heading to trial next week. The emotionally charged case shook Collin County, led to protests, threats, and doxing calls against both families and even a judge in the case. Maria Guerrero looks ahead to the trial and how we got here.
Parents rushed to Kirkendall Stadium on a rainy April morning in 2025.
She witnessed some things and we just finished talking to the police.
Not yet realizing the devastating details to come. The victim, 17-year-old Austin Metcalf.
The sad part about it is he died in his brother's arms. They were twins, identical twins.
Fatally stabbed in the chest, prosecutors say, by Karmelo Anthony, also 17 at the time. By all accounts, the two did not know each other. The confrontation reportedly over Anthony, a Centennial student, sitting under Metcalf's Memorial School team tent and told to leave by Metcalf. Things turned physical, according to witnesses, even after Anthony reached inside his bag and threatened, "Touch me and see what happens." Jurors will likely see surveillance video showing only a burst of action at a distance. Anthony running away after the stabbing before being caught and allegedly confessing. They'll likely see the knife covered at the scene with a blue tarp. Mike Howard is Anthony's defense attorney.
The prosecution will not be able to rule out the reasonable doubt that Karmelo Anthony may have acted in self-defense.
And I think in most self-defense cases, the dispute is regarding the reasonableness of the fear.
We asked defense attorney Russell Wilson, not involved in the upcoming murder trial, for insight.
What are the biggest questions that have not yet been answered that could determine the outcome of the trial?
The exact details of what occurred immediately prior to, during, and after the incident.
How is this self-defense?
His $1 million bond significantly lowered. The now 19-year-old faces up to life in prison. His parents went public with concerns for their safety.
I don't know why we are being targeted and discriminated against before a fair trial.
Veteran prosecutor Bill Werski will seek a murder conviction. Judge John Roach not allowing cameras or audio inside.
I'm personally in favor of more open courtrooms because society needs to know what happens in a courtroom.
Maria Guerrero, NBC5.
We absolutely do. We absolutely do need to know what goes on inside our courtrooms. Welcome back in, everybody. Live tonight here. Welcome back to LTL Media. Looks like my internet is lagging again. Love that. Gonna have to be fixing that pretty soon because it's getting kind of annoying, but it should iron itself out. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna take my phone off Wi-Fi. I think it's my old Wi-Fi router that needs to end. But anyway, welcome in, everybody. Lots of drama going on in the community today. You know, I can't, it's just, it just captivates the attention. Is he going on the show? Is he not going on the show? Who fucking cares? Who cares? Because we're back here. We're going to do part 2 tonight in the Karmelo Anthony trial. So what I want to do tonight is getting to family interviews. Both families have spoken about their families. You're going to see the two dynamics on both sides. We're going to talk about the representative that is representing Karmelo Anthony's family. And we'll talk a little bit about his background. And that man is Dominique Alexander. And he has a organization that's called Next Generation Action Network. That should tell you a lot. And we're going to talk about his background as well. So we'll get into that. But let's just do this. I pulled this up from News Nation. I found this to be a little bit of compelling in this case here. And it says, how stand your ground laws can shape Karmelo Anthony's murder trial. And this actually came out today. We'll read through a little bit of this. Actually, you know what? I might even be able to play this thing. Let's play it. I'm going to probably hear a commercial here.
How stand your ground laws could shape Karmelo Anthony murder trial.
Boy, this is bad.
By Safia Samiali. Texas teen Karmelo Anthony, accused of fatally stabbing another student at a high school track meet in 2025, is set to go to trial Monday, where his defense team is expected to argue he acted in self-defense. Anthony was charged with first-degree murder in the death of Austin Metcalf, who was also 17 at the time, following the stabbing at a track meet in Frisco, a suburb of Dallas, last year. Authorities said Anthony had acknowledged
I
the
don't think I can
stabbing
do
and
this.
asked officers.
I cannot do this. I have to do this. I can't use that. That voice is terrible. All right, so Karmelo and Anthony murder trial over fatal track meet stabbing to begin, and that is going to begin on Monday. Jury selection is scheduled for Monday, and from what I'm reading, it's going to be up to a 2-week trial. It could be longer. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of witnesses. It's just going to be how fast the prosecution and the defense gets through their witnesses and their presentations. So what is legal self-defense in Texas? And this is going to be something that's heavily debated. We talked a lot about this on part 1, which was my show last night. If you haven't watched that, please go over. It lays out a lot of context in the case. We have a comprehensive timeline that we did, and we read through the actual arrest report, and very thorough. So what is legal self-defense in Texas? Well, while Texas does not have a formal stand your ground law, it takes laws involving self-defense, no duty to retreat, and the castle doctrine that together allow someone to force if they are reasonably believe they are faced an imminent deadly threat. Texas defensive law, Todd Shapiro, who is not involved in the case, told News Nation. Self-defense laws, which are called stand your ground laws in some states, generally move to duty to retreat, allowing people to use deadly force without trying to escape if they reasonably believe they face an imminent threat or death or serious bodily harm. Anthony's lawyer will likely have to show he faced an immediate deadly threat and had no other option but to use deadly force, Shapiro said. But here's the problem. Here's the problem. You have a lot of solid witness statements. There's going to be multiple witnesses that saw everything that happened in that close area. We had read through the arrest report last night. We heard things about that went on in that specific area. We heard things that were said or allegedly said in that specific area of the fight or the stabbing. I'm sorry, the stabbing. And you also heard this semi-alleged confession by Karmelo Anthony saying, hey, I'm the guy. I'm not alleged. I did do it, but he put his hands on me. And you're also going to hear the prefix to that, where he kept saying, allegedly, to Austin Metcalf, go ahead, touch me, see what happens, as he's allegedly unzipping the backpack that he had and allegedly reaching in his backpack and saying, go ahead, allegedly saying, put your hands on me, see what happens. And then ultimately what happens? Allegedly Austin Metcalf put his hands on Karmelo Anthony, and Anthony allegedly plunged this knife straight into his heart and killed him instantly. So, here's the problem that I find in this is that I think there's an overwhelming amount of evidence here that is not going to lean heavily for Karmelo Anthony. And I'm very curious to see how his defense team is, going to defend this case and what they're going to put forth and see what their witnesses say. But it's going to be a very interesting case. And again, I want to make sure that we understand the rule here is that I know that the media over the next couple of weeks is going to lean heavily, and they have over the past year since this case happened, the black and white issue. I don't do that. I follow the evidence. I follow the facts. And if the racial component, and we haven't heard anything about that yet, if there is a racial component to this, then we speak about that intelligently. We allow everybody to go into our court system, no matter what color they are, black, white, green, purple, red, and they all get their due process. They go forth through the justice system, and, it's dealt with in front of a jury. So that's the way I'm handling this case. That's the way that I'm doing it, and that's the way that I'm going to talk about it. So prior threats or verbal confrontations alone will not justify the deadly force, or danger. According to the police reports, Metcalf told Anthony he needed to move out of the area under the team's tent. Let's see here, at the track meet. So Anthony allegedly then grabbed his bag, reached inside, and told Metcalf, "Touch me if you see what happens." A police report states Metcalf grabbed Anthony to tell him to move, and Anthony then allegedly pulled out a knife and stabbed Metcalf once in the chest before running, and it was a direct hit to his heart. It's kind of what I talked about all this. So how a Super Bowl parade reunited and stand your ground law debate. Let's see, from a practical standpoint, I think it's going to be very difficult to prove simply the fact, as we know, Karmelo shows up at the track meet and he's got a knife in his bag, and there's no indication of any weapons ever being in his hands of the victim ever, Shapiro says. Anthony's defense attorney, Mike Howard, did not immediately return a request for comment from News Nation. In previous statements, Howard said, quote, "The prosecution will not be able to rule out reasonable doubt in Karmelo Anthony may have acted in self-defense." A representative for Anthony's family told News Nation that they believe their son is innocent, and the reason he brought a knife would be to answered in the court of law in a jury. And this is what we haven't found out yet. Is there any previous history here between Karmelo Anthony and Austin Metcalf? I don't know. And we don't know, and I haven't been able to find any reports, and maybe someone in the chat has. Maybe there's been some speculation out there, but we'll have to see if that comes out in trial. But words doesn't necessarily mean you take a knife to a track meet, you come looking for someone or come in contact with someone, and that gives you the right to plunge a knife into their heart and kill them. So Jay is saying, no, they have never met. And that's what I'm saying. I haven't found any evidence to show that they have met. I do know they're from opposite schools. And from what I can find out, they both were very outstanding students. I think Karmelo Anthony, in his respect himself, was also a very accomplished athlete, as well as Austin Metcalf. So, I mean, again, this is an extremely tragic story for both parties that are involved. You have one kid that is now dead. You have one kid that's probably going to face life, be in prison for the rest of his life. You have two parental units that are going to be devastated for the rest of their lives, and this is going to have to be their life moving forward. And then what else does it do? It hurts the school and it hurts the community that they live in, because this is something that is going to be talked about in that town or city forever. I mean, it's 235,000 people. It's probably a city or a large, I wouldn't say a town. But this is kind of the ramifications of all this. So as of 2025, about 35 states have your stand your ground laws and expanding self-defense protections beyond the home, according to Rand Corporation think tank. About 29 states, including Missouri, broadly removed the duty to retreat in public. Others include New York and Minnesota, still requiring retreat if a person can safely escape in some circumstances. Some states, including California, recognizing similar protections throughout court rulings rather than statutes. And I mean, I look at the sense of this. I mean, the guy brought a knife for what? And I kind of just feel like, and this is just my opinion, he may have been looking for some type of trouble or something to get into. There's been some alleged reports out there that he's been, and I'm talking about Karmelo Anthony, that, he's been shown posing with a gun. And I don't know. So where is this influence coming from? Where is the influence in his life? And I know, we have a much older crowd here. I'm 48 years old. I'm happy to say that. And we know that where values start. Where does it start? It starts in the home. And and that carries through the people that you acquaint yourself with as well too. So I don't know where possibly, and again, we have to hear all the evidence in court. I'm just giving you my opinion. Where did possibly this all go wrong? And it's just tragic. Ward stressed that stand your ground laws do not erase core requirements of self-defense, including a reasonable belief in imminent death or serious bodily harm. She said self-defense remains a narrow legal exception, not a broad permission to use deadly force, whether someone feels afraid. Reasonableness remains a part of self-defense law, Ward said, and the judge may just determine whether a reasonable person in the same situation would have to believe deadly force was necessary. But several recent high-profile killings suggest that people wrongly believe stand your ground laws allow deadly force anytime they feel threatened or no. She noted, while Anthony's case has drawn national attention, Shapiro does not expect it to create major legal precedent because prosecutors and juries in Texas regularly handle murder cases involving self-defense claims, he said. He also said Anthony's age is unlikely to affect the legal analysis of self-defense, though it could matter during sentencing if he's convicted. Anthony faces up to life in prison if convicted. All right. I don't want to go through too much more of that article. I do want to start getting into some of the interviews. Now, this is with Austin Metcalf's dad. This is literally on the same day that he just returned from the hospital. His name is Jeff Metcalf. I have to say, I mean, this guy is a champion to get out there in front of the media just hours after, and you're going to hear it in this interview. We played a little bit of this last night, after literally touching his cold son's head. I mean, the son was dead in his arms, and he's out there after speaking to the media. And you can tell, I mean, this looks like a really nice area in Texas, a nice community behind him. And I'm sure this is probably pretty, precedent through this entire area. I mean, so let's play this. I have quite a few interviews to get to tonight. We'll hear about them. Probably a lengthy stream tonight, which I'm fine with. I'm glad that you're all here and you're interested in this case. I think this is going to be a majorly talked about case over the next couple of weeks when jury selection starts on Monday. I just want to remind everybody, I do have the super chat goal up in the chat. Only 5 to get to my goal tonight. If you could help me out, I would appreciate it. It's in any denomination. If you want to help me out, please do that. And I already saw that I did have a Venmo that came through, and I want to thank Nancy for the $10 Venmo. And she said, keep up the good work. I appreciate that. All right, let's play this interview here.
I mean, I'm numb. So it really hasn't hit me. And I don't believe any parent should ever have to bury their child. And I pray that, maybe there's changes made as far as security or things like that. And maybe we can learn from this and try to turn a tragedy into something positive to make sure it doesn't happen to anyone else's child. I don't want parents to feel like I feel today. So I've already forgiven the person who stabbed him. God's going to take care of everything. God's taking care of my son. I kissed him. When I kissed him goodbye for the last time, I told him it's not goodbye. It's see you later. So I just have to trust in God and faith to pull us through. I don't understand his plan. We're all subject to trial and tribulations. God didn't say life was going to be fair or wasn't going to be hard, but he said he'll always be beside you and never leave your side. So we're going to lean deep into our faith. There's a vigil tonight at our church at 7 o'clock. I will be attending also. The outpouring of students and coaches and friends and family that showed up at the hospital immediately. It was just shows the way my son touched people's lives. He was voted team MVP of the football team this year. He carried a 4.0. He was on National Honor Society. He's ranked in the top 50 of the state in his position. He's having D1 colleges contact him. He had a great life ahead of him. And to be taken away, it's such a tragedy. I mean, I can't even tell you how I feel because I don't know how I feel. I feel numb at the moment. I just hope that this doesn't happen to any other parent and their child. But I do hope for justice. Because this is unacceptable.
And the fact that, someone was immediately taken into custody, they know who did this, they are charging him with murder. I mean, how does that make you feel that police immediately got this person?
First of all, I feel sorry for that individual because he's now made a mistake that's going to cost him the rest of his life. The hard part that cost me is I lost my son, and his brother was holding him, trying to hold the blood in, and he passed. My son watched his brother die in his arms. I need a break.
Oh, man.
concerned about my son. They were twins, identical. They had each other's back. They had that bond.
Let me turn caps on for you guys.
Just tell me, Dad, I can't make it. I can't make it without him. I said, we're gonna have to, bro. We're gonna have to. He would want us to be strong.
Can you tell me a little bit more about Austin, about his personality?
Austin was a leader. He led the football team. He was voted team MVP by his players and coaches.
What was his position?
He played linebacker. Him and his brother both play linebacker. He played inside. His brother plays outside. We were so fortunate this past weekend that me, Hunter, and Austin, we grew up hunting together, and we had matter of fact, the ranch we own, the lease was not renewed, so we could never hunt there again. And we went there for the last weekend. And he said, Dad, I've never shot a pig before. I want to get a pig this weekend. I said, okay. Lord and behold, it's a heck of a story, but he shot his first pig this weekend. And we all talked, me, him, and Hunter both. We all talked about these are memories that you take forever. After I'm gone, you can tell your kids about, well, your grandfather and I, we were hunting and we stalked and it took 2 hours, but we got this. I got my first pig, and he was so excited. And I'm so fortunate to be able to spend that weekend, not knowing it was the last weekend I'll ever spend with him.
And he also was on the track and field team?
Also was,
Tina, thank you so much. $5 kicking it off. Thank you so much, Tina. I appreciate you. She said, Anthony's family is not showing any type of empathy for Austin's family. I have to agree. We're going to hear the press conference from them. We're going to talk about the person that they have decided to align with to be kind of their head of media and their spokesperson, Dominique Alexander. He's got a hell of a background. And if you don't know about his background, your mouth's probably going to drop that they're aligning themselves with this person. All right, here we go. Thank
Paul
you.
was his pride and joy. He was working on track to increase his speed. Matter of fact, he's already.
I apologize. My internet is fucked tonight. And I think I know what the problem is. And unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to fix it at this point. I think it has to do with just kind of an old Wi-Fi router. I actually have a direct line in my computer, but I use the router for my phone. So when I'm out around the house, I have the router that I can just connect to. But we're going to try fix this a little bit here, and hopefully this gets better. But it is very annoying. I'm sorry.
It's
very choppy.
He dropped it. He's going to drop it some more. And he was an amazing, dedicated athlete. And by the outpouring of his friends and family that showed up immediately at the hospital, goes to show how he impacted other people's lives.
And what did that mean to you to know that your son did that?
Well, for me, I was diagnosed with cancer 9 years ago, and I was not supposed to live. And God blessed me because he knew I needed to be a father for these two boys. My two boys is what my life lived. I lived my life for my children. That was my why to keep fighting, and I'm cancer free. So God had a plan for me. So I was able to watch and be blessed so much to having both my sons are amazing. My other son is just crushed, and I feel for him now, and he'll never be the same. None of us will. Grief, we all go through it, but the thing about grief is you don't get over it. You just learn to live with it. So, I don't have a choice other than to carry on. I'm going to do everything in my power to make sure Austin's never forgotten. I'm sure he won't be. He's touched a lot of people's lives. He was a great individual, a leader, an athlete, very smart, 4.0. I couldn't ask for a better son. Two of them. I couldn't ask. They were my whole life. And for it to be taken away so senselessly, when this guy was just sitting in Ron's spot and they asked him to move, and he winds up stabbing my son in the heart and killing him. Jesus. It's unfortunate, but he's gonna have to answer for those consequences. And I hope justice is served.
Yeah. Is that, and I know Hunter probably, everything happened so quickly. I mean, is that what he kind of told you what happened? Did you know Austin to have any enemies? Did Austin know this person?
No, they have no contact with this person ever before. I can tell you what happened. I know firsthand. I wasn't there.
Okay, so that's what the dad is stating. He's stating that they've never had contact. Again, the reports that I've tracked down and looked at, I'm not hearing any contact, but we'll have to see. You know, maybe there's some type of social media post or something like that. Again, it may come into evidence. We don't know. We don't know. That's something we're going to have to watch for. Unfortunately, and there's some people that are watching, there is a gag order, a major gag order in this case, and I fucking hate it. I think that we should all have the right to look and go on inside our court system. There's no audio, there's no video. So all the updates on this, unfortunately, I'm going to have to source off the internet and give you guys kind of a replay or a recap type of show. I have no problem doing that. I'm very vested in this case. I want to find out, you know, what ultimately is going to happen. You know, we'll just have to do it that way. All right, here we go.
Son, and everything, I know exactly how it all transpired. It was multi-Frisco high school track meet. Many high schools were there. It started to rain, and they have their own little tent for memorial, and they were sitting there. And someone was behind him mouthing off, and he turned around and said, "Who are you?" And he said, "I'm Mello." He said, "Well, you don't belong here. You don't go to memorial." He had a Centennial tracksuit on. And he said, "You need to leave. This ain't your spot." And some words were discussed. I'm not going to say on camera
no.
He asked him to leave and basically said, "Make me."
No. Super restricted, and only 9 media members will be picked to be there to be able to report on the case through the entire trial. And that's it.
And then he wound up stabbing him in the heart, killing him. All over someone sitting in the wrong.
This is kind of interesting too, hearing about the particular jumpsuit that Karmelo wore. So he wore a Centennial High School, which is a different high school that Austin goes to, and I'm not sure if that's a rival high school. So was he going there again? I'm asking the question. I'm not making assumption. I'm just asking, was he going there with an intent to look for trouble? Does anybody know? I mean, maybe J Lord knows. Are those two rival high schools? Do they have competitions or fights or anything like that? Is there any reporting fighting between these two schools before? Was this kind of like to gaslight something up? So I don't know. You know, that we may find that all out at trial.
At a track meet. Now, I don't blame his parents. I don't blame him, but they all will suffer too. I feel for their family, because now their son will probably wind up in prison and learn that he killed someone. And he devastated and took my son that I can never get back. It's unfortunate for everyone involved. And I just hope it doesn't happen to anyone else. This world, you know, there need to be changes.
I don't know.
So I don't know. I'm not judging. I'm just having to say that try to be kind in this world. And if you can't be kind, find someone who is.
Oh my gosh, Jeff. I mean,
even the reporters.
Is there anything else that you want people to know about Austin? If you want people to know how he'll be remembered, is there anything else that you haven't shared?
I mean, it's hard right now. My thoughts are all over the place, to be honest. I mean, there's so many great things about him. I could probably sit here for 3 hours and go on and on and on. But he was a great friend. He was a leader. He was well respected in school by his teammates, by his coaches, by his friends. His girlfriend came up to me and said, "You know what? He talks about you a lot, and he loved you, and he treated me with great respect." And he goes, "You taught him that." You know, he was going to turn out to be a great individual and impact this world with positivity. So he was on the right track. He was doing everything right. I was so proud to have 2 sons, not just him, but 2 sons that do the exact same thing. My other son, Hunter's like, "Dad, I can't go on because Austin always had my back." I said, "I know." And when I kissed his forehead today, as his body was cold, I ran my fingers through it there. I told him, "It's not goodbye. It's see you later. I'll join you at some point too, son. You just beat me to this place."
Damn.
So you keep an eye on me up there. Put in a good word for me. And we'll meet again. Yep. The only thing is keep me together. Otherwise, I'd be in a rubber room right now. So all I can do is pray. I don't understand it, but I have to live through it, and I have to still be here for my other son. So my journey's not done. It just took a really bad detour today that I'll probably never get over. I'll live with it the rest of my life. And I sure as hell don't want any other parent to feel the way that I feel today. Because when I got the call, I was scared, but I was hoping like he's stabbed in the stomach. It's not gonna be that big a deal. Surgery, as long as he's okay. When I saw him, I knew it wasn't good. And then when his brother told me, "Dad, I tried to hold the wound to the blood, but there was too much.
Ugh.
And he died in my arms. It's tragic. I don't know what else to really say.
How can the community best help you right now? Help you and your family right now? Is it thoughts and
Pray.
prayers? Is there a
Pray.
GoFundMe? How can they help you?
I hadn't even thought about that. That's a good idea. GoFundMe. I'll probably have someone set that up, and prayers. I believe I'm heavy in faith, and we just pray that this doesn't happen again to someone else. Unfortunately, I get to be the example, but we have to try to turn negatives into positives. And he was a great kid, and he impacted a lot of lives. I'll never forget him, and neither will a lot of other people. So, community-wise, talk to your kids, teach your kids. It all starts at home. I know life
It does. We talked about this. We talked about this, and I know people are going to go, when they see this on replay, they're going to go, okay, boomer. But it does. Your values start with your parents. Your values start with your guardians. Your values start with your family unit. And you have to find out, where did this go wrong to get to this point? Just because someone puts their hand on you doesn't give you the right to pull out a hunting knife and plunge it into their heart. That's cold-blooded murder. And again, this is all my opinion. And now that I have been, looking more into this case, I'm going to tell you, I'm leaning a certain way. I'm starting to lean a certain way now. After we read through the arrest report last night, I'm going to tell you, I personally think that Karmelo Anthony is going to be in a lot of trouble up there. I think his defense team has a hell of a case. They're going to have to explain when it's their time to explain it. I do. I really do. Untwisted Tragedies checking in. What's going on? Thank you so much for the $5. She says, sending a little good juju. I appreciate that. And thanks for coming by and checking out Elise. I was in Elise's chat hanging out a little earlier when we were talking about the you've got me fucking saying turtle tanties now. I go around and I say that all day long now. It's stuck in my head. It's stuck in my head. All right, let's move on here. Let's get back to this and let everything else kind of sort itself out.
But we all have to evolve. And if we all don't come together, black, white, yellow, brown, I don't care. It's all about human beings. We got to care about each other. We got to be kind to each other. You need to show compassion, show empathy, not anger, not rage. Teach your kids the right from wrong. And pray to God this doesn't happen to yours.
It's just awful. This whole...
No. Do you have any questions for Jeff?
No.
Jeff, anything else you'd like to share?
No,
now, again, this interview is just probably a couple of hours after he left the hospital and touched his cold, he said, my cold son's forehead, because he was dead. It's just very tragic. All right. This is another interview from the same day. It looked like it was a little later on. We'll play this one as well. Probably multiple media outlets. I cannot believe that he was out there doing these interviews. What a strong guy. Very strong. All right, let's play this here. The internet tonight is not well.
Was to bring awareness so this tragedy doesn't happen to another family.
Okay, so Mr. Metcalf, it's JFF and then METCALF. You are Austin's father.
Yes, sir.
Easy question to start with. It's probably a tough one to answer, but how have the last 24 hours been for you and for your family and for Hunter?
That's 3 questions. So for me, it's not real yet. It hasn't sunk in. I'm just happy to stay strong so we can handle all the things that need to be handled. Arrangements, people flying in, people coming from all over. So I haven't had a chance to really grieve yet. I know at some point when this is all over
and I said this last night on my stream, this case hits me really hard. Ignore the when you're kids, you get mad and you kind of X someone out of a photo. That's how you did it in a Polaroid if you didn't want someone in there. my friend Tony right here. He was murdered 1994, and he was stabbed to death. Pretty similar to this style of killing as well too. Here I was in my Raiders gear. Look, full Raiders gear. Look at that. Full rate with the MC Hammer pants. I can't get too close because this is 1991. 1991. There I am right there. My friend Jesse, which is we're all three of us just best friends. My friend Tony and this girl named was Charlene. Tony was dating Charlene at the time. It was just I must have got mad at her at some point. But this is at his old entryway to his house, and he was stabbed to death. I have the live stream up on my channel. You can just look it up. It's my best friend was murdered, and I go through everything. I have the newspaper clippings that we went through, and I kind of tell his story. And they got off. The prosecution fumbled the case, and one of the other kids I think only got like 6 or 8 months. And then when they went to get the other kid, the prosecution fumbled the case on time, and he didn't see any time.
We're able to put him in the ground, then I'll probably break down and grieve that way. But right now I'm really numb, and I really don't feel anything. I just have to function, and I need to be there for my son and my family, and I need to make sure I set an example for my son.
Austin obviously is the son, and also Hunter, who you're talking about here.
Yes, sir.
Walk me through who Austin was to you. I know that you've said so much about him, I think, in the last 24 hours here. Everyone else has said a lot about him, too, about how great of a kid he was. In your eyes, though.
So I apologize. This is the next day. This is April 3rd. So just like you said, 24 hours. So April 2nd, 2025 was the first interview. This is April 3rd, so this is the next day.
As a father, who was he to you?
My boys are the biggest blessing in my life. God provided them to me. God's going to get me through this. I had a dream last night, and Austin came to me and said, I'm okay.
Oh, man.
It gives me peace. Doesn't mean I don't hurt, but it gives me great peace. So one of the things, my son, Hunter, his ability to stay strong is a character to his brother. His brother, they had each other's back. They were tight. I've never seen a bond like that. Being identical twins, technically Austin was his big brother. Those boys were my everything. I had cancer almost 10 years ago. I wasn't supposed to live, but that was my why, to fight. And without those boys, I probably would have succumbed and gave in. But they were in my heart, and I fought hard because I wanted to be their father. I wanted to be there for them throughout the years they grow up, and so I can share my wisdom and share my mistakes so they won't do the same. Austin was an outstanding athlete, person, friend, loyal, loving. He would light up the room. He was such a leader naturally. On that team, he would fire those guys up. He would step on that field, and he would become a totally different person. His level of play was above most everyone else. He led the team. He was voted team MVP by his coaches and teammates. He's had multiple coaches, colleges contact him. He is one of the most outstanding. Him and his brother both have been athletes all their lives, from soccer to baseball to jiu-jitsu to football. They did it all, and they excelled every time. And I told them, you guys are so lucky because not everyone has your talent, but you have to make sure you take that talent and harness it in the right way. And Austin was able to harness many things in his life. Loyalty to his brother, his love for all his friends and family. He was such an outstanding young man. I was so proud. I bragged on my children all the time. Anyone who knows me knows how much my kids meant to me. They were my entire world. My world's a little shattered.
Okay, so I haven't heard this, and I'm not doubting you. I'm going to look this up after the show. But Samuel, thanks for jumping in. I haven't seen your name in the chat before, so I hope you're new here. And please make sure to like, share, and subscribe as well. Samuel's saying the prosecution that Karmelo Anthony had a quote prior assault or altercation involving Karmelo on February 4th, 2025, 2 months before the stabbing of Austin Metcalf. And I'm not sure if Mary's in the chat. She's really good at hunting this stuff down for me. Mary, if you're in the chat, can you see if you can find any type of information on this or an article? I would appreciate it. Or even any of my mods, and just email me and I'll look it up. And he also says, justice for Austin. Appreciate that. And he said, yes, 2 months before the stabbing. Wow. I have not heard about that. Again, my reports didn't say any prior. He says, I have the Twitter link to the out. Awesome. Can you please send it? I'm going to put my email up in the chat. We'll pull that up in a minute. My email should come through the chat there at Let's Talk Live Podcast at gmail.com. Thanks for coming in the show tonight and checking us out. Let's see. All right, here we go. Back
I
to
still
Jeff.
have Hunter, and I always have Austin.
I know that the last day has just been gut-wrenching for you and your family.
Go, Linz.
You've spoken obviously to a couple of other outlets. I know Hunter's leaving. Do you need to say goodbye? Or?
No, I told we're good.
Okay. We haven't really had a chance to talk to you about this. You had mentioned a few times that you had forgiven the suspect for what
correct.
He did.
I do.
Thank
But
you.
we just informed you about these documents. And
That doesn't change anything. This has to do with me and God. God teaches us in the Bible. He talks about forgiveness. He also talks about revenge. Not for me to seek. God will take care of it. Karma, I believe in it. It's very unfortunate that this other child decided to make a bad choice that's going to affect him for the rest of his life. I have compassion for every human being. This is not, I want to make this very clear. This is not a race issue. This is not a black and white issue. I don't want someone stepping up on a soapbox trying to politicize this. I don't appreciate.
Yeah. And that's what I said here. If you watch my live stream last night, we're not falling into that. We look at the facts and we look at the reports and we look at the evidence. And we don't judge people on who they are, what color their skin is, or whatever it is. We just look at the case and then we follow it. And lets the evidence lead us to where this goes. And then we get it in front of a jury and a judge and we let them decide. And that's something that I've always been prideful here about on my channel. But if something racial becomes a component of this case and comes out in court, we absolutely will discuss it, and we will discuss it in a very adult way. We're not going to fly off our hinge and start saying everything. We're going to look at all aspects of it, and we're going to talk about it. So here we go.
Appreciate some of the remarks I've seen online that people say there was this fight and they don't know, they weren't there. I know the truth. So unless you were there, unless you saw it, don't spread gossip.
Yeah.
Just to ask you this one question, like I had mentioned, the self-defense argument made by the suspect. What's your reaction to that if that's used in court or used?
As a defense attorney, they're going to try every avenue. That's their job. The truth will come out. There were too many people that were there that saw what happened. My own son told me what happened. There was never a punch even thrown. So I don't care. There was never a phone broken.
So we
never
more
had contact with this individual ever. So unless you were there, I don't appreciate all the gossip and all the mistruths that people are speaking at this moment.
Is that shocking to hear or read, or at least hear from me, say that that's what he told police after that moment?
No, what do you expect? If you're caught, the best thing you're gonna do is try to lie your way out of it. Now, I'm not saying he's a liar, but the truth and the facts, justice will prevail. It has nothing to do with me.
I want to talk about the charity that the public has really shown, and obviously the complete wrapping of arms. I know that's some phrases that you always hear about when we talk about these situations, but you guys set up a GoFundMe, and a lot of people have really come to the aid of your family.
I am overwhelmed. I had no idea the response that this generated. And my hope was to bring awareness so this tragedy doesn't happen to another family. I don't want a parent to go through the pain I have to go through. Money will never bring my son back, but I have to take care of what's left. And I have
Thank you,
support of
Samuel.
my
I'll check it
friends,
out.
My family, my neighbors, the community, people I don't even know, my coworkers, everyone. We had a vigil last night at the church. It was full. It holds 1,700 people, impromptu. It was the most moving, touching thing I could ever feel. This is about human compassion.
Wait, Samuel, were you the guy that just recently followed me on? You were actually going back and forth today, I think, on X. You just recently followed me. I appreciate that for the follow on X, and I appreciate you coming over and checking out this live stream. Let me know if that was you. I don't see anything that came through yet. Hang on. Okay, I see it here. I'm going to pull that link up in a second, and we'll take a look at it. All right, here we go.
The world
Oh, yeah,
needs
okay,
more
cool.
kind
I saw
people.
you today.
If you can't find
Thanks
one,
for coming over.
be one.
Wow. Just, I feel so bad for his dad. I feel bad for both families that they have to go through this. This is a nightmare for everybody. All right, we're going to hear from Austin's mom and his twin brother, Hunter, here in a second. I want to just pull this link up and take a look at it. I just want to make sure. Let's see. All right, let's take a look at this. Again, it's someone posting on X. And I like to just do this with due diligence. And hang on one second. Let me just transfer this over. We'll get another link. Thank you for sending that, Samuel. Let's take a look. Okay. Let me just do this. So let's see. Sarah Fields, she's got 422,000 followers. Republican president chair, constitution, investigative journalism. Okay, so she's an investigative journalism from her title. It says fact. It was brought up that the bond hearing was brought up in the bond hearing by the prosecution that Karmelo Anthony had a, quote, prior assault or altercation involving Karmelo on February 4th, 2025, 2 months before the stabbing of Austin Metcalf. Wow. The incident was handled internally by Frisco ISD and did not involve law enforcement or criminal charges. So I'm guessing this is probably something that happened at the school. No? In reference in court as part of the prosecution's argument to keep the bond at $1 million, they lost. The judge reduced it to $250,000 with house arrest and an ankle monitor. Some believe he brought a knife to school and have been told by multiple sources that he allegedly threw a chair. Either way, somehow it went away. Also a fact, the Texas Education Agency, T, told Frisco ISD in 2021, black males were being disciplined at disappropriate rates compared to population share. Black students, 11% enrolled, but 35% out of school. So T ordered the district to review and revise the code of conduct. Translation, stop disciplining black students, or so much of, and again, this is kind of getting into the racial issue that I just didn't want to get into. I appreciate the article. I want to stick to the evidence and facts. Again, I don't know any of the stuff that's being said else in this post. Again, it's nothing that I've researched, but I just want to follow the facts. I appreciate you sending over the article. But it is interesting to see that there could have been possibly a prior assault and altercation that was handled by the school and wasn't noted by noted to the Frisco police. So anyway, let's just pull this up. We're going to look at this interview here. And here we go. This is Austin's mom and his stepbrother. Twin brother, Hunter. Let's see what.
Just because the kid was mad, my son is not here anymore.
It's the next
I
day.
don't understand it.
Okay, let's see. These people are powerful.
Just tell me about.
It's such strong hearts to get out in front of the media and speak about this right away. Michelle, I just want to say thank you for the $25. It's a great show. Ignore the drama. Some people just live for it. Absolutely. I don't care what happens.
I don't know. I got a phone call
about.
from Hunter. He was screaming that Austin had been stabbed. I was at work, and so I drove I work in Grapevine, so I drove up to the hospital straight away. I actually beat the ambulance there. Yeah, I saw them have him.
I just want to answer Ruthie. Ruthie says, apparently there's an altercation between the two of them previously, or did I hear you wrong? No, I just think they're saying there was an altercation. It didn't say that it was involving Austin, but I think there was just a prior altercation that was handled at the school and didn't have any type of law enforcement involved. And again, that's all alleged at this point.
Come out, he was on a lot of machines, and it didn't take long for them to come in to say that he had passed. So I'm not sure, senseless act of a boy that was in the wrong tent, and my son doing the right thing by telling that boy that he needed to be removed from where he was, and just doesn't make any sense. I mean, that's my just because the kid was mad, my son is not here anymore, and I don't understand it.
Tell me about Austin. What do you want people to know about your boy?
Oh, he was the most amazing kid. Oh, so smart. He had college football guys looking at him to play in college. His goal was to play in college. He just wanted to play football. His life was going to the gym and working out and being a leader on his football team. And he just had such ambitions and a drive that it's hard to find in a kid. And he's just such a good spirit. And so many kids loved him. And his brother lost his best friend.
They're twins, right?
Yeah, identical twins. Yeah. They've been like, they are the best of friends. Like, just, I'm so worried about my son because he's going to have to face this world alone now, because he had a brother that was with him the whole time, and now he's going to have to do it alone. And I'm just so worried about him. I really am.
Was Hunter with Austin today?
He was. They made him go away when they were doing CPR on him, but he was there when he was stabbed, and he was holding, I guess, the wound to keep it from. He was trying to save his brother. But I think he said he saw when he took his last breath and before the CPR came back in. So for what I heard, he was unresponsive for 5 minutes. They were able to revive him a little, but I think it was too little too late.
What can the community do for your family?
They need to support the kids at the school. Austin was loved by so many people. They need to know that there's other people out there for them and not against them, you know? And Frisco Memorial has got a football program it's in a process, and we want everybody to know that it's a family and they're there together. So, but just to put your arms wrap around and support. This is Hunter. Did you want to talk to him?
Oh, man. Thank you. Oh, man. He's a good kid.
That separation, just do your research on twins. Do your research on twin separation. Do your research on when a twin dies, what that does to the other twin. This is going to put a very extreme stress on his life for the rest of his life. I'm just speaking here off the cuff. I mean, it's probably going to take years off his life. How stressed out he's going to be for the rest of his life. It's awful when twins get separated. Absolutely awful. It destroys them.
That's really it, but he has a good heart. Everyone around you knows he's a great kid. Just one mistake from that dude, and just
identical too.
Just took my brother. Just he didn't deserve it. No one deserves a loss from a family like that. I know people that lose their family members all the time, but I just don't know to get mine so soon. I'm my best friend and my brother my whole life, but if y'all can just not y'all, sorry, just thank y'all for just comforting us, and the Frisco area has been comforting my family and me. And I just really appreciate everything that everyone's done. It's a really hard loss, but we're gonna get through it with my family, so we'll just stay together. I mean, our relationship is really the tightest I've ever seen in somebody, between two human beings. I mean, we did everything together, clean the dishes together, do the yard work together, sports, you name anything in the world, it's always us two and one thing. So we're always just basically one person.
You guys just a few minutes apart?
4 minutes.
Mm-hmm. Austin was first by 4 minutes. He got stuck in me.
So technically your bigger brother.
Yes, ma'am. He does a lot of big brother stuff around. He's always on my back. Even if I'm in the wrong, he'll always take my side no matter what it is. So it's just really heartbreaking to see someone that cares for you that much and does everything even by your side no matter what. Just pass away like that.
You're right, man.
Your mom told me that you were there.
Yes,
yep.
If you don't mind, what happened?
There was this kid, before I knew his name now, this kid was sitting under our tent at track. We asked him to move. He started getting aggressive and talking reckless.
Now, this is good. This is good information. We're getting a little bit more about what possibly, allegedly could have happened. Again, I'm sure Hunter's going to take the stand and tell his side of the story as well too. You know, and this is probably pretty much as close to testimony that we're going to hear, because like I said, extreme gag order. You're not going to see video. You're not going to hear audio. We're going to have to rely on X. We're going to have to rely on articles to get updates in this case. Let's just back up a little bit here. I'm going to slow it down so we can hear kind of in real time. I'm having a little sped up because we have a lot to get to tonight, but let's hear.
Our tent at track.
Just want to go back a little bit more here. And of course, yep, the old spinny
Well, I knew his
wheel.
name now. This kid was sitting under our tent at track. We asked him to move. He started getting aggressive and talking reckless. And my brother stepped in and said, "You need to move." And he's like, "Make me move." Austin grabbed his backpack. The kid, I tried to whip around as fast as I could, but I didn't see the stab. But then I look at my brother, and then I'm not going to talk about the rest. So
Yeah.
just that's just what I saw. And I tried to help him, but
It was just senseless.
it was really senseless. Really, I don't know why a person would do that to someone just over that little argument. It's just crazy in this world nowadays how people just up and do that. Like a man has a family. That man has people that care about them all the time, and he did everything for our family too. He was a strong man. He was a strong kid, real strong. And I know I'm strong too, but he's a little stronger. But he did a lot for our family and a bunch of stuff that we just don't recognize. And it's just like, especially throughout our friends too, like everyone knew, like he was the peacemaker. That's what I'm saying. Like, I heard someone who really makes peace, really calms peace down. He makes everything sail smoothly. And because I get upset, but then he calms me down. He was just always there for me. So it's just really heartbreaking to see like how this happened.
Oh my goodness. You guys are
17.
Yeah, they'll be 18 in July.
I saw a lot of articles say you guys were 16. I wasn't sure.
Yeah, they're 17. Yeah. Yeah.
Austin wanted to play football.
He wanted to play college football.
17 years old.
For sure.
He definitely used his mindset, his skill level, his IQ of the game was probably the best I've seen in the Frisco area.
Yeah.
As a linebacker, he was a stud, and I always try to fill those shoes with him and play with him. And I had a blast my whole life playing sports with him my whole life. It was just me and him always good against people. And last year, it was this year, so it's just really heartbreaking not to see him next year on the field.
I'm so sorry, my love. Oh my goodness. I saw that he won like linebacker of the year.
For the Frisco Memorial, he was
Second team all district, which he
second
should have
team
been
all-district.
first.
Yeah.
But it's just everyone knows around this area the impact of what he does for football and what he does for families and friends. Like, he's just a great guy overall to be around, and
hard worker.
Extremely. It's just really hard. It's just really hard to see someone go like that just for like recklessness.
My focus of my story is, of course, on Austin. That is what's most important.
I think that's going to be something that's going to be part of this case as well, too. And that may be something that the defense brings up. And that's a good question that you bring up. And she said, why did nobody call for coaches or security? I think that the prosecution is going to talk about that. And I think the defense is going to talk about that as well, too. And, you know, who knows? Maybe that comes a factor, you know? But you got to think, you know, this is probably seconds that this all happened. And it wasn't something I think played out for a very long time. And we talked about that last night in reading it in the arrest report. It was so quick. And I don't think there was time for any of that.
But what would you say about
probably
the
be
suspect
brought
and
up.
what's next?
We don't know anything about him. We have nothing to say.
I've never met this kid until right then. It really was under 30 seconds, this altercation. I've never met this kid in my entire life. And it's just,
And to be honest with you, we don't want to give him any recognition or any care, because we have no desire to have anything to do with that man. So
if Austin can hear you, what would you say to him?
I'd say that's really hard, but I'd say a lot of things because I saw him before his last moments. And it was just
how much we loved him. He knew that.
He knew how much I loved him, how much I do for him. I do anything for him.
Yeah.
No matter what. He's called me anything that he needs, I'll do it for him. He's just a great guy. So when you have a great guy, you want people to be around you. They're going to be around you no matter what. Like, he's a great leader. That's why I always want to tell him, like, I always wanted to be like him in that sense. Is like how he just communicates and has great ways with people all the time. And I always looked up to him for like that. he was a big brother in a sense, the same age, but he was a big brother than me.
We just want to make sure that everybody knows how much that Austin is going to be still in our lives, as far as in our memories and our hearts forever. You know, it's going to be really hard. This is going to be really hard.
I see how much you guys love and adore him.
Yeah, I'm really trying not to cry, but it's
Mr. Baby.
Yeah. He was my big baby. He was 225 pounds. Both of them big boys, and I loved the movie time with them. They would ask me if we'd watch a movie and sit on the couch, and he put his head on my lap, and I'd scratch his back, and he was just, I don't know, he'd tell me things. He was so personable with me, and I knew stuff that most teenagers wouldn't tell their moms, that just things that because we were close, and now it's going to be us wrangling the future together.
I know you were with him till the end, right? Did you hold him the whole time?
I didn't. They yanked me off.
They had to leave. He had to be removed when they did CPR. And then he wasn't able to be in the ambulance with him on the way to the hospital.
So it was just like heart throbbing the whole thing, the whole ride on the hospital.
How did you get to the hospital?
My dad came. I called my mom. My mom didn't know. She didn't answer. She was at work, and she answered my phone. I told her what happened. She came in right away, and then we drove to the hospital. We're trying to figure everything out.
Yeah, it was hard. That was tough because I beat the ambulance there. I don't even know how that's possible, but I did because I came in from Grapevine.
Wow. Awful. Okay. All right. So now let's hear Karmelo Anthony's side. They did have a press conference. We're going to talk about that. And during that press conference, Austin Metcalf's dad, Jeff, actually showed up because it's free in public space. You can go there. You can show up. It's a press conference. And the only reason he wanted to be there is he wanted to hear what Karmelo Anthony's family had to say and what their representative, Dominique Alexander from the New Generation Action Network. And we're going to talk a little bit about who he is. So we wanted to just go there and hear what they had to say. And the family, the Karmelo family, made a little bit of a rustle about this, and they actually had him escorted off the property, Jeff Metcalf, and all he wanted to do was just hear what they had to say. He wasn't there to cause trouble. He was there to hear what they had to say. But let's talk a little bit about Minister Dominique Alexander. And I pulled up this article, and this is who the Karmelo Anthony family wants to be represented by. And this is proven, it's factual, it's in court records. And we have activists connected to Karmelo Anthony has lengthy criminal history, including domestic violence and abuse allegations. And I have to say, the abuse allegations is not even it's not even against an adult. It's versus a 2-year-old child. And we're going to read a little bit of this. So an activist connected to Karmelo Anthony, a 17-year-old man accused of stabbing a teenager to death in Texas, reportedly has a long criminal history of his own. Activist Dominique Alexander is president and CEO of Next Generation Action Network, according to the organization's website. He made multiple public posts about he and his organization are working with Anthony in recent days. Authorities charged the teen with first-degree murder and a fatal stabbing. Austin Metcalf, 17, CBS News reported. The teenager released from jail on Monday after his bond reduced from $1 million down to $250,000. It goes on to say, NGAN, who also posted on Anthony's case, added a link to a GiveSendGod in the latest two. Alexander, however, has a history of criminal accusations and sentences. The activist was arrested in 2019 on a felony charge of family violence after his partner accused him of trying to strangle her KXAS TV reported, citing court documents, so it is documented. And I didn't say that Karmelo had a criminal history. So if you want to back up 2 seconds, I said Dominique Alexander in his organization, Next Generation Action Network. So let's get that straight. And welcome to my chat, by the way. Citing court documents. So this is in a court document. His partner later signed an affidavit just prior to the grand jury indictment saying that she wanted no further part of this prosecution on an account of how people handled the case. The charges were later dropped in 2021. The Dallas Morning News reported. Oh, and here we go. The activist also arrested in 2009 for causing serious head injuries to a 2-year-old child of his then girlfriend. Dallas Observer reported, while Alexander initially claimed the baby fell off the couch when he was babysitting, an investigator said that the doctor reported that the severity of the injuries did not match up with the accused. The injuries are acute and likely occurred around the time that his girlfriend's son started to have symptoms, likely being unresponsive. Without most adequate history of the trauma, complaint injuries are more consistent with abusive head trauma and child physical abuse, the doctor said, according to the investigator. Alexander confessed to shaking and hitting the baby with an object. According to court records obtained by Dallas Morning News, he pled guilty in 2011, and the judge sentenced him to probation. So we have a man that likes to hit babies. I don't want to say a man, a scumbag that likes to hit babies and shake babies and allegedly beat on his girlfriend. And this is who the Anthony family wants to align themselves with. Okay. It's your choice. It's a free country. Pled guilty in 2011 to a judge sentenced him to probation. He was sentenced in 2016 to 5 years in prison for violation the probation multiple times and only served 8 days due to the probation counting towards his sentence. He was indicted once again on felony theft charges and was increased due to 2013 forgery conviction, the Dallas Express reported, citing court records. So again, in court records, he pled guilty in 2021 and was sentenced to 2 days in jail. So this guy's getting slaps on his hands too. The NGA calls for a more progressive approach to policing in Black and brown communities. And at the end, the Sentinel filibuster will raise the minimum federal wage, according to the website. And there we go. So that is who Dominique Alexander is. And we're going to hear from him. We're going to hear from the Anthony family. And let's watch their press conference that was back on April 17, 2025. I'm just going to turn caps on. We are going to speed this up for time purposes a little bit, and we'll hear what they have to say. And make note here, when Karmelo Anthony's mom, Kayla, speaks, and I look at this and it's like, if you have never even watched this report before and you just heard about what had happened, you would think that their son got stabbed and killed. So it's an interesting presser. So here we go.
To say something as a deep note that I can tell America. What we've seen at the beginning of this press conference, the father being at this press conference, these are my words, don't quote anybody, is a disrespect to the dignity of his son. Next Generation Action Network from the beginning has respected the loss of life. No matter our opinion of it, we have kept our opinion close. We have not attacked. We have not shared the information that was shared with us about Austin Metcalf because we respect the dignity of life and loss. And as a minister, I would not attack a grieving family, even if I disagree with them. When I have stood before this podium for people who have died at the hands of law enforcement, I have asked for that same manner of respect. And even when the shoe is on the other foot, I will not do that. And all I'm going to say, so it don't be asked later, is that was disrespectful and just shows you all the character. Who is not invited, he knows that it's inappropriate to be near this family.
Why is it inappropriate? He's showing up to a public press conference. He has every right to be there. He wasn't causing any trouble. He was there as just a bystander. And he wanted to hear what they had to say. He has every right to do that. And then the representative, Dominique Alexander, is the one that made the complaint and had him removed. So that, sir, in my opinion, is inappropriate. That man had every right to be there and see what you have to say, because now you're being the representative of the family. This is nothing that, like, we didn't see them come out on their front lawn and do a news report and talk about what they potentially thought that they're saying. You're the one that set up this big press conference. And I saw Diana earlier saying, you know, this is not about the Anthony family. I can respect that, but they're choosing to have someone represent them, where you look at Austin's family, where they just came out and gave interviews to the press. So this is, in my opinion, this is a big fiasco. You're setting up a press conference. You have Austin's dad, Jeff, that shows up. He's got every right to be there. It's a public setting. He wasn't causing any incident. There's a video of him being there, just standing, not saying anything to anybody. Then law enforcement approaches him and they escort him off the property. So
But he did it.
And to the people, do I have anybody in the room that's calling me racist? That is so childish. You need to move on. You need to go away. And you can clearly go back, and I invite you, go back and watch my live stream from last night. I'm going to tell you, and I'm going to say this again, okay? On my channel, we follow the facts. We pull court documents. I don't give a shit if you're black, brown, yellow, purple, red, green, whatever color you want to throw, okay? I don't care about that. I look at the evidence. I present it to my audience. We go through it, and then we start to make our assumptions or our opinions, okay? And we can do that. That's why we have this public forum to do that, to have discussed this. We discuss the evidence. We come to our determinations, and I have people that don't agree with me when they come to my chat, and that's perfectly fine. And that's why we discuss this here. And then we let it to go to trial. We listen to the evidence. We listen to the witnesses, and then we make our determination based off that. Based off that. That's what I do here. I don't care. And please, I encourage you to go back and watch the cases that I've covered here and look at the panels of people that I've had. This is probably one of the most diverse true crime channels I've seen. And I'm not sitting here and I'm going to pat myself on the back about that, but I'm just stating a fact. Okay. So please, I invite you to go watch the people that I fight for, the cases that I've talked about on this channel. And there probably are some new people that are over here looking at my channel for the first time. Okay. So don't call me a racist. You know nothing about me. And I encourage you to go back and please watch my channel of the cases that I've covered here and talked about and called out white fucking COs that beat a black man to death up in upstate New York. Okay. A guy that was serving criminal time, and they went in there and fucking killed him, Robert Brooks. And I did multiple live streams about that and said what they did to him was fucking wrong. Okay? So don't call me a racist. You have no right to do that. Okay? So let's continue with the live stream here. Here we go.
And so I say to people, actions speak louder than words. Okay? What he has failed into is the political operatives that want to make this thing
exactly. Thank you, Diana. I raised a billboard, 2 billboards for that family. Enrique Delgado Garcia, look up the case. I raised 2 billboards for that family out of my own pocket, $7,000 out in front of Gillette Stadium here in Foxborough, Massachusetts, because there were no fucking eyes on that case. And no one here, the local mainstream media here in Massachusetts, is a blurb on their fucking radar. They don't cover it. I got another case that I've been talking about too. Kyron Lopes. Why don't you look up that case? Okay. A young man that went to the Rhode Island State Police, State Capitol Police Academy and was fucking killed over there. Okay. So you have no right to come in here and call me a racist because I'm talking about a case and giving you my opinion, and I haven't said anything that leads to any of that. So stop with your nonsense. You can go away. All right, here we go.
Bigotry and yet racism. We have conservative operatives that have been posting nonstop about this case. It is outright disrespectful. We haven't been doing it. The Next Generation Action Network has been here, popular and unpopular.
Oh boy.
So regardless of what's going on, that was disrespectful. Disrespectful. And I will leave it to y'all to define it. But of course we want to. Y'all, I'm Minister Dominique Alexander. I serve as the president of the Next Generation Action Network. Today I come before you with a heavy heart, but determined in spirit, not just as an advocate, but as a Black man, as a father, as a protector, in community, and children.
Amen, brother.
There are 4 critical points I must address today. And I want to make sure that the public and the media and everyone who believes in truth and justice first.
And, someone I was reading, or actually I was listening to Megyn Kelly the other day, and she was talking, I saw a video that she was talking about, and she said, this case is, it's so hot. And you look at, like Al Sharpton gets usually involved in these cases. This case is so hot that he didn't even want to get. There's a lot of evidence here that just doesn't look good in Karmelo Anthony's favor.
Misinformation
I just
about the fund.
Be honest about that.
From the very beginning, there was an intentional disinformation
oh yeah, he did. We read about
the
it.
Fund created in the support of the Anthony family. The Karmelo Anthony Fund, hosted by GiveSendGod. Let's be clear. The family has not received one dime. Any of the media could have verified this, but we saw on Twitter, we saw on Facebook, and so many different things of the false lavish life of this family. $800,000 home, purchase Escalade, in private security. Let me make this very clear. The Next Generation Action Network has always had its security detail. Many of you that know us in the Dallas and Fort Worth media know that we have our own security detail.
He did get involved?
One of the individuals that escorted Karmelo Anthony out.
I read that he didn't get involved. He did get involved, J Lord? Oh, that's interesting. On Twister Chatters, thank you so much for the one gifted. I appreciate that. I appreciate that.
At a jail is here present with us now. They are a part of the Next Generation Action Network security team. The family hasn't hired any private contractors or whatever, or splurged or whatever. But if they have the audacity to spend money for their safety and security, that's their prerogative. The family has not withdrawn, and just until recently, just yesterday, they were officially notified by GiveSendGod that they could start the withdrawal process. But if anybody know about this process, they know that that takes about 2 to 3 days to withdraw from that and actually hit any account. But this blatant propaganda wasn't just about the fund. It was to discourage the public from giving to the fund. That's what this was about. Because just like TMZ was able to call GiveSendGod, everybody in the media, in these news outlets that I've never heard before, could have did the same thing. When I first called GiveSendGod, they gave me every information that I needed. Okay? So that's what I'm going to say on regards to that. Let me make this very clear. This family.
Why is that guy calling GiveSendGod? Why isn't the family taking care of that? Why is he calling them? I'm kind of feeling the little. Are you guys feeling a little bit of this? I am.
Never authorized a single fund on the GoFundMe platform. All of the funds that were raised on the GoFundMe were all fraud.
Yeah, I think so too, Samuel. I'm getting that
All
feeling.
of the funds that was raised on that platform were fraud. Okay. The family was the first to report these funds. One of the funds we identified raised up to $11,000. So a post about anything that stated that GoFundMe took everything down regarding Karmelo Anthony, that was at the request of the family and their supporters. This family never tried to create an account on GoFundMe. The Next Generation Action Network is very well aware of the company's policy regarding raising funds for legal defense. Okay. Since this tragedy unfolded, the Anthony family has been subject to unimaginable amounts.
Now, keep in mind, this guy's representative, and it is part of his criminal. Dominique Alexander, we just heard about his criminal history. He beat up a 2-year-old child. Shake the baby, admitted to it, shaking the baby. There's been some other alleged contact with women in his life that he's assaulted. So keep that in mind. That's the representative right now. That's representing this press conference and this family.
To their safety. People have sat outside their house.
And I would only hope that they did their due diligence of like, who the fuck is this guy that's coming in and stepping in? You know, I really do. I pray that this family did. I really do. Because I don't know if they've separated himself from them or if he's still their representative. Again, I pray that they did some due diligence on this guy. Because that's someone that I wouldn't want around me, my family, my community, nothing. Wouldn't want anything to be associated with that.
Sent objects delivered to their door, publicly harassed, online and in person. This is not just about Karmelo. It's about the family who dared to stand and demand justice in return and receive ugliness that racism in this country still breeds. But let me say this loud and clear. We are not scared. We are not moving. We will not be silent. What I've always said,
yeah, I read about that.
The Next Generation Action Network. We will never ask the oppressor for permission to liberate our people. We will not ask for permission to stand up for the rights of our children. The Next Generation Action Network has stood on both sides of the fence in ensuring that justice is served. Now, getting to the information that the Next Generation Action Network wanted to share with the public today. And I will go ahead and pass it over to the mother and once I make this statement, okay? All right, there's two more final. For the last week and a half, the Next Generation Action Network has engaged in communications with Frisco ISD to ensure that Karmelo Anthony's due process is not violated. We know that in the state of Texas, there are things that are discretionary things and decisions by the leadership of Frisco ISD, right? There are clear guidance in the state and education code regarding expulsion of a student. We have asked several times, we didn't just rush, we have had these conversations over the last several days, and we have stated that it is just outright wrong to get involved in this. Karmelo Anthony doesn't have to walk. He doesn't have to involved in any senior activities. But Karmelo Anthony is a 3.7 GPA student. And if he doesn't even go to class for the remainder of the year, he would graduate, okay? We've asked that Frisco do not make a decision.
Can you, J-Lord, can you send that to me? I would love to watch it. Email me if you got the link. We'll pull it up after this and we'll watch it. I'm trying to get the connection of what he's talking about here. Hang on one second.
In this situation, but Frisco ISD has notified of their intent to expel Karmelo Anthony from school 1 month before his high school graduation. That just shows me that Frisco ISD is trying to push off the blame. And what I have not heard the media say, as many media outlets have asked us what went on, I'm trying to find how many of y'all have asked the superintendent or one single board of trustee, why didn't you cancel or postpone? With weather in that magnitude, you couldn't have a track meet in rain or thunderstorm or clouds. Y'all are the media. Ask your journalists, your weather journalists, how the weather was that day and that time. Y'all
so it's the weather's fault.
Because as a person who is the administrator of your children, you are responsible for the safety of the children. And so it seems as if Frisco ISD is trying to push this off.
Wait a minute. What? I'm sorry, guys. I might be wrong. So he just said, I want to back up here and read his exact text.
Responsible for the safety of the children.
He said, you are responsible for the safety of the children. I'm going to disagree because you know who the two people, the people who are responsible for the safety of children and others. And again, I think we know this. Values start where? Start at the home. So the few people behind you are the ones that are in charge of the safety for those children because they allowed to, I can't with this.
And so it seems as if Frisco ISD is trying to push this off by making this decision that they do not have to make. So the Next Generation Action Network, outside of the legal process, will be going through different avenues regarding to ensure that we fight for the rights of Karmelo Anthony, okay? So in the next coming days, we will be announcing to the public. We will do direct action outside of Frisco ISD administration office because this is outright wrong.
What action?
You are getting involved in a process that even the legal process has asked us to respect. And we're asking you to do that same thing. You do not have to get involved in this situation. But it seems that even with us going and meeting or having conversations, they have made their mind up.
This is a bizarre.
And we want to make sure that the
press conference,
the records, that we talk truth to power in regards. I wanted to lay this out to ensure, because of the sensitivity of this case, there are so many moving factors that I have to explain so that this family does not have to explain. Let me say this about.
So you're hearing it. And I mean, this is their representative. This is the guy that they want representing them. Again, a guy that has shaken a baby, a guy that has essentially beat up a 2-year-old kid. It's factual. It's been proven in court documents. He admitted to it. A guy that is allegedly, hit a few women. That's in court documents as well. He was sentenced to a 5-year sentence because of some of those actions. All right. If this is who you, and again, I pray for this family. I really do. I pray that they did their due diligence and they're okay accepting his criminal history and that he's representing this family now. Okay.
Let me repeat this so that you guys can go to the Frisco Police Department. The reason why the family or me or anybody with direct knowledge of this cannot talk about the particulars of what happened in that tent. I know you know this is all law. It's because if anybody tell you there was an adult near or inside or whatever, this current investigation knows nothing about that. Everybody involved at this point of our knowledge are minors. In the state of Texas, we
was in the
cannot
police
release
report.
or talk about minors.
Wait a minute. Is he saying that there were no adults by? Did I just hear that? Let me know, chat. Did he just say that there were no adults by this incident? It's in the police report. Multiple adults came forward and gave statements. We read it last night. What is going on? What bumped this man's head? I got to hear that again.
The reason why the family or me or anybody with direct knowledge of this cannot talk about the particulars of what happened in that tent, I know you know this is all law, is because if anybody tell you there was an adult near or inside or whatever, this current investigation knows nothing about that. Everybody.
It's going to be on body camera, dude. Like, we has he not looked at the arrest report? Did something bump his head? It's going to be on body camera. There were multiple adult witnesses that came forward and gave statements. Bruh. Oh my
Involved
gosh.
at this point of our knowledge are minors. In the state of Texas, we cannot release or talk about minors.
Oh man.
So stop asking us the question. Stop. It's no. We can't even do it if we wanted to.
Bruh.
Okay? We can't talk about it. So don't ask. There is a court of law that will express everything, will lay out everything. We can't talk
I feel
about
bad
it
for
if
this
we wanted
family.
to. Okay? So make it
I do. I feel bad for this family. I wish they had someone that was properly representing them. I think that everybody should have equal representation, and this is not the guy. This guy shouldn't be their spokesperson. This is gross. I mean, they should have someone out there that's a lawyer that is speaking on their behalf, a quick, short statement, and this is all we're saying at this time. And then we're going to let, and then if the media asks questions, you know what? We're going to let the court and the jury decide this. This is not helping their case, because I want fair representation for everybody in this case. It's how our legal system works. But this guy's a joke. Yeah, Nan says that's probably why this is a gag order. And if everybody doesn't know and you're new to the channel here, this is attorney Nan Gallagher. She's been a panel guest up here, done some really great shows with us. Go check out our panels with our retired Mass State Police Todd McGee, Nan Gallagher, and myself. We talk a lot about these cases. This is crazy. Right, Nan? I mean, Nan, would you agree? I mean, we want proper representation for both families, right? And we want someone that's competent enough to get up here and speak professionally. And I would say on their part, in a more, I don't know if there's a word, but lawyerly tone, giving more of a lawyer type of statement, not this shit. This is like propaganda. I pray for this family.
Go back, confirm with Frisco Police Department. Go back, confirm with the district attorney.
Oh man,
even in the bond hearing, you didn't see a single thing said about people that was indirect. They're minors. Okay,
bro, you're lying.
The social media, stop. I haven't saw not one person single-handedly get this right in the public. They're minors, y'all. Just stop. We can't. Don't send another inquiry to NGAN inbox. Do this, all of that. That's the reason why we felt like it was important to do this press conference today. We can't talk about it. So if you ask me, I'm just going to look at you, okay? So I'm telling the world, everybody know the state law. I'm not creating it. We can't talk about it. This family can't talk about it. I can't talk about it. Nobody, unless you want to be sued. You release one of those 16-year-olds or 15-year-olds and 17-year-olds name, the law of this land tells you what was going to happen to you, okay? So don't ask that question. Finally, in regards to this judge, I do not know Judge Angela Tucker. I've never met her, never known her, never been nowhere near her court. Don't know anything about her until we were notified that she was going to hear the writ. But the ugly attacks on her just shows Black America that no matter what you pick in the ballot box, and that is your constitutional right, It's people out here reminding us of the black.
Hang on a second. Let's just I like to show evidence. I like to prove things here on LTL Media. This is what we do. Let's see. Oh, okay. Let's just we need to show evidence here. So we're going to go to, I think it's Shells, Officer Shells. I'm going to skip down here a little bit. Right here. It began to rain harder at this time, and Otis myself, a Memorial coach, approached me and informed me that he was with a student who claimed to see the entire altercation. I'm probably pretty sure that the Memorial coach is an adult. And there's multiple other incidences here that talk about adults coming forward and pointing out where the knife was and what they saw. But there it is right there. A Memorial coach approached me and informed me that he was with a student who claimed to see the entire altercation. I told the coach to stick with the student and that we would need to get him into the police station and give a statement. The student quickly informed me that he knew where the suspect threw the knife and pointed me to his location. And I know there's other accounts in this report too that talk about adults seeing what they saw and giving statements. And it's going to be on body camera anyway. So there you go. That debunks that. Okay, here we go.
In America, this woman is a registered Republican. Has been for years. She put herself through school. She raised her family. She did everything. I am a registered Democrat. Proud. I'm the chair of the Dallas County Democrat Resolutions Committee.
What does this have to do with anything?
And to call her leftist is just downright. The bond that was given is according to law and consistency with practice. If Aaron Dean can get a $300,000 bond when he killed a Tatiana Jefferson.
And J Lord, did you happen to find that first press conference? If you did, email it over and I'll pull it up after this.
Karmelo Anthony can get a $250,000. If Amber Geiger can get a $200,000 bond when she kills Botham Jett in his own home, he can get a $250,000. If Roy Oliver can get a $250,000 bond after he kills Jordan Edwards.
Excuse me.
All white officers. Why couldn't Karmelo Anthony be entitled? A child with no background, no criminal background, no endangerment to the community, none whatsoever, be placed on a ELM and brought home. Please help me understand. Make this make sense.
Oh,
it's consistency. It's consistent with practice. After this, y'all, so that we'll know, this will be our final press conference until this trial. We will not speak to the media again after this. Okay.
There is video.
Don't ask, comment, question.
What I've heard, there is video of kind of the aftermath, and a lot of the other video is pixelated. But I talked about this last night. A lot of this is going to rely on what Karmelo Anthony said to police officers, and it will be all on body cam. And I think it's also going to rely on the truthfulness of witness statements. That's your backbone in this case. I don't think there's much video evidence, but we don't know. Someone could have had their phone out, because we see a lot of that shit that happens in trials. Like we hear things and then all of a sudden we have an audio recording or a video that we haven't heard about, or there's multiple angles of videos that come out. So we don't know. Someone could have had their phone out at the time and we may see a video of it. I don't know.
Or whatever it is. The actions that the Next Generation Action Network take on Frisco ISD will be separate from the legal process, because we want to make sure that Karmelo Anthony's due process. This is going to be a jury case. And then let me make this very clear. This is a case that has not even been indicted. So under the guise of Texas
he got indicted.
Law, it's not even really proceeding to a trial yet, because it has not even went through a grand jury to be indicted. We know We don't know if a grand jury will indict or not. We don't know.
Well, they did.
That's in the district attorney's hands, okay? And their legal team is preparing a packet for those things, and we will not be talking about the legal process regarding this case, okay? So after today, I just want the media to know, and I want the public to know, I don't care what you say about me. I've been in this thing for 11 years. I am tried, tested, and proven. I'm gonna just say, I'm from Oak Cliff. Worser things have been said about me, baby. You don't gotta inbox me, you ain't gotta tell me. I am the first person to tell my testimony. I don't have to prove anything to nobody. I am a proven testimony standing here that God, even when you make mistakes, God is not finished with your story. I'm gonna bring this mother, Kayla Hayes, and it has taken her a lot of strength, y'all, to come and do this today. And I want you guys to respect her as she read this and giving her the respect that she deserves, y'all.
Good afternoon. My name is Kayla Hayes. I am the mother of Karmelo Anthony. 3 years ago, my family moved to North Texas, searching for a better life. Like so many other families, we wanted to give our children the future we did not have. My husband worked hard every single day to provide for us, to make sure we're in the best financial position possible. As a stay-at-home mom, I made it my life's mission to ensure our children are loved, nurtured, and supported every step of the way. In wake of this tragic incident, our family has been under attack. Whatever you think what happened between Karmelo and the Metcalf boys, my 3 younger children, my husband, and I didn't do anything to deserve to be threatened, harassed, and lied about. The lies and false accusations that have been said about us, especially over the past week, has been overwhelming. The lies and their amplification put my family in danger, as well as everyone in our community, everyone involved in the investigation, from the police, the attorneys, and the court staff. Our address and my husband's previous employer's address has been put on all social media platforms. My husband had to take a leave of absence because he's afraid what may happen to our family. His mental health is deteriorating day by day. We have endured death threats. My 13-year-old daughter is afraid to sleep in her own bedroom because she's fearful of what may happen to her.
Now, I just want to make sure that we understand here this on my platform. I don't condone anybody to harass anybody's family in any way. I don't care who it is, what it is. We don't do that here. So I don't condone that. And if any of this stuff did happen to this family, I feel bad. You know, I feel bad. They shouldn't be harassed. But it's a very bizarre, it's a very, very bizarre press conference, because if I was someone that was just coming into this and maybe learning about this and seeing this, I would think that their son had died. So it is very bizarre. I think they have a very poor representative that's out in front of them. Again, I would have liked to see some legal representation out there, maybe making a 2 to 3 5-minute statement of what their what their stance is, and that's it. That's probably what I would do. And again, I'm not a lawyer, I'm not an advisor, but it's just my opinion. All right, here we go.
And let me be clear, the claims that were used about the public donation to buy a home or anything else are completely false. We have not received a single dime from the GiveSendGod fundraiser.
Sounds like they're just crying about the money.
Has stated that clearly. In the reality, we were just notified yesterday that we could begin to withdraw funds. And it still takes several days to receive those funds once a request is made. I don't know why we are being targeted and discriminated against before a fair trial. Our son deserves the same rights under the law that everyone is afforded to. He's been raised in a two-parent home with structure, stability, love, and we put God first in everything that we do. We believe in the
And that's fair. That is fair. But you've got to sit your child down now and look at him and say, where did this all go wrong? Look him in the eyes and say, if that's what you're putting out there in the media and you're putting this out in your statement and this is what you're standing by, then you need to ask him, where did this go wrong? It's a fair question to ask, right? Given the circumstances, given her statements, where did this all go wrong? Let us know. All right, here we go.
Constitution. We believe in the laws of this state, but those laws must apply to all of us, not just some of us. To be clear, we will not speak publicly about specific details of what happened under the tent on that rainy and awful day. There's an active investigation that everyone involved wants to be full and fair. We believe in the legal process, and that is where the truth will come out. To the family who experienced the loss, my heart truly goes out to you. To those who have supported my family, thank you from the bottom of our heart.
Oh, boy. J. Lord, I'm just going to ask you again. You said there was another press conference, I guess, of Dominique Alexander, and you said it was back on April 7th. If you have that or someone can find it for me, email it to me. I'd like to see the earlier press con. They had an earlier press conference, or you were mentioning some other press conference that I didn't play. I'm curious about it. If you have it, there's my email address. Send it over. I'll take a look at it. All right, here we go.
We ask for your continued support, patience, and prayers as we navigate this difficult process. Thank you.
Well, it's going to be a difficult court case. I can tell you that.
I'm going to show something up of a post. You come for me, I come for you. Sarah Fields. Never heard of this woman.
All right.
This is the kind of despicable things that led to
There's
the father
shitty
being
people
here.
out there. Listen,
Political
I fucking deal with it every day too, man. I fucking deal with it every day too. I mean, that is just a cesspool of Twitter. And that doesn't represent everybody in this fucking country. Okay. You probably got some asshole up there that's under a fucking sock puppet account and they're getting the thrills by doing this shit on X. I get it every day too. Go look at my Twitter feed. All the people that fucking come after me. That's just X. It's the way it is. But that doesn't represent me. Doesn't represent all these people in this chat. You know, that's some shitty person that's behind a sock puppet account trying to get a rise out of you and probably saying some pretty fucking harsh shit. You know? So it's going to happen when you have a very high profile case like this. And again, you know, we stick to the facts here. We stick to the police report. We're going to stick to what happens in court. We're going to listen. Well, we're not going to be able to listen to, but we'll get reports. So here we go.
Motivating this family with hate. Karmelo Anthony posted on something that shows, posted here. These are the type of lies that are threatening this family.
Threatening the family.
Picture. These are the type of lies. She's getting millions of views on this.
Why is he shaking?
Sarah, she's even came after me.
Why is he shaking?
She's even said all of those things. And now that the public knows exactly what is going on, I ask, because these racist bigots try to prevent us from standing up for our baby, our boy, he should be afforded the same rights that Cal Rittenhouse had.
Absolutely.
Daniel Penna,
Absolutely.
and all of the people who
Anybody
have claimed whatever their defense was.
Listen,
he should be afforded the
bad
same
as they
rights.
are. Jeffrey Dahmer has rights. As bad as they are, Charles Manson has rights. As bad as they are, Brian Koberger has rights. I absolutely agree. Everybody has the right to due process. I absolutely agree with that. Everybody should have a fair trial. This guy's not helping. They should have a lawyer and a good representative up there helping this family. All right, here we go.
Nobody in the public media has one video camera, but we got the video of Kyle Rittenhouse with an AK-47 shooting 3 people in the back.
Rightfully
We got
justified.
that. And he raised more than $2 million publicly, and nobody says anything.
Rightfully justified. He was getting smashed on the back of his head with a fucking skateboard. We saw the video.
So since they tried to come for us,
this is a bizarre.
I call for the community's overwhelming support for this fund. The disinformation that was put out was literally deliberate to prevent you from helping this family. And I want you to give overwhelming support to show them the community united can never be divided. And I'm going to say this again, and this is for everybody. Black people in America, while the current occupant sits at 1600 Pennsylvania, Black people in America don't have to pull the race card. It's what we live as a reality every day. It's what we have to teach our children. We don't want to, but we have to. We don't like to, but if we want to sleep at night, we got to. I ain't pulling no race card. I live it. I'm reminded all the time that I'm a Black man in America. And what y'all just showed to Judge Tucker is just reminded that hate and bigotry and racial reconciliation in this country, we have respected the process. I believe.
Didn't he just say at the very beginning of this presser they didn't want to play out like the race card? And I could be wrong, but didn't he say that? And that's kind of where we're ending here in this presser.
That Austin Metcalf is about to have his funeral. And I wouldn't dare, even with the information I know, and plenty of people can share that and all that, but we have prevented from speaking about that in these type of public forums.
It's a bad representative for this family.
They have a more than well-capable attorney, and this family will go through a process of being able to get prepared.
I'm gonna be honest with you. That is the person that should be speaking for this family right now, the attorney. I would not fucking have this guy up here. Someone's got to talk some sense. Get this guy as far away from you. And it's too late now. I mean, we're 2 days away from jury selection, but you still got time. You still got time, Anthony's. Get this fucking guy away from you and just talk through your attorney. Get good representation. You got some issues here with your son, and it's a horrible, tragic situation. You got 2 families' lives that are fucking devastated for the rest of their lives. You got a kid that's dead, and you got a kid that's probably going to end up going to jail for the rest of his life. And you got this moron up there doing this shit. I can't get that there's not a family friend or a relative or someone that's could talk some sense into this family behind them and say, hey, you know what? You probably want to get rid of this clown, and let's just talk through the lawyer. And he's probably fucking one of those guys that come in and go, you know, for $100,000, I'll get up and represent you. You know, that shit. So wasted money. He's waiting for the GiveSendGod to come out so he can get his coin. Fucker.
For this trial. So I just say this real quick. This is our final time speaking to public and holding a press conference regarding this particular case.
Okay.
Now, the Next Generation Action Network will talk about
a lot of advertisement here too.
Frisco ISD, but we will not do this. I will not ask this mother to do this again. The attorney will not. We won't do this again. Don't ask.
All right.
We will see you at trial. Whatever venue that is, we will see you there.
Okay.
I stand 10 toes down supporting his family. And I want to thank all of the community leaders and people that I have seen that have came here today. Bishops and pastors and clergy, community leaders with respectability in this community. I see them today. And I want to thank them for their presence because this family needs strength right now. Thank you and God bless you.
And they need someone that's a better representative than you. They have like you said, if they have a competent lawyer, They should be behind that lawyer. And I don't know why the lawyer is not advising them and saying, get this guy as far away from you as you can. He's not a good representative. Oh boy. What did I want to show here? So I want to show both GiveSendGo's. You've got Karmelo Anthony. You have has raised over $11,000. They got a goal of $1.4 million. And then you look at Austin's GiveSendGo or GoFundMe. He's at 578,000 and just shy, and they want to get the goal of $1 million. Let's hear from the GiveSendGo executive about. So this here says, co-founder not proud to host fundraiser for alleged track meet murder suspect, says some donors are wrong. When someone is championing a racial narrative that is divisive and undefined, then I would claim that is a wrong reason to be donating. The GiveSendGo co-founder says, let's hear from him. Probably going to get a commercial here. Wait for this commercial and then we'll play through it. Oh boy, if you haven't, let me just take this opportunity. If you haven't already, please make sure to like, share, and subscribe. I'm going to cover this again. We're going to get into part 3 tomorrow. We dive in a little bit more. And of course, jury selection is going to start on Monday. If you're new to my channel, like I said, subscribe. I appreciate it. We'll go full screen here in a second, and then we'll end on this for tonight. Here we go.
Proud am I of this campaign? I wouldn't say I'm proud at all. I don't what if there's any level of let's say I don't even like the word proud, pride in it. But when to be utilized as a unifying platform, which I believe we are. We're being utilized to bring hope into difficult situations. I'm very happy to see the impact that our platform has had on so many lives, so many campaigns around the world. And this is just another one of them. The circumstances are very difficult, but we get difficult circumstance campaigns every single day. People who just got a death sentence by cancer diagnosis, or a family passed away in a tragic car accident. We see a lot of tragedy, which is why people oftentimes need to fundraise. This is just another one of those. So pride, no, I have no pride in this campaign being on GiveSendGo. I just have appreciation for what GiveSendGo is doing in the midst of these tragic moments, which is standing on principle, which is loving people even in the midst of very hard and dark places. There will always be people donating for the wrong reasons. I mean, on any campaign, there are people that believe that the best way forward is racial division. Yeah. That's what they believe. And so they're going to stoke the flames of racial division however they can. And people do that all the time. That's just the prerogative of living or the, let's say, not even say penalty, but when you live in free societies, which we do, there is a price to pay. And that is, it allows for some people to do things that might not be good. And I think people do that all the time. They like the death threats that we have, or just even saying nasty things to people. Like, well, that's your prerogative. I don't think that's a good thing. Like, do you think you're building society by cussing and swearing and being derogatory to people? Like, no, I don't think many people would agree with that, but yet we have freedom to do it. And so there are people that think that's the best way forward. And I don't find any validation in that in the real world as far as making a positive difference. I think it just adds more fuel to the fire. And I think they're happy with that because that's what they want. when someone is championing a racial narrative that is divisive and not unifying, then I would claim that that's a wrong reason to be donating. And there are people that have donated that are making claims that are divisive and not unifying. So, and those are in some of the comments. Unfortunately, like I said, in free societies, people can say things that are divisive and not unifying. And so, there's another piece there. I'm trying to think. And they go both ways too. I mean, we've seen people who have made donations because donating is a way for you to comment on a campaign page, and they are on the other side of the political spectrum of a campaign in a highly politicized campaign. And this one is as well. It's almost, followed a level of political division. But you have people that are on the other side of the aisle, and they'll donate the minimum $5 donation just so they can post a comment being derogatory to the Karmelo family or the Anthony family. So they're intentionally donating just so that they can say a comment to go after and have it be public. And they sit on the other side.
Yep. It's true. It's very true. I want to call it this PayPal Regional Services. Thank you so much. Let's see. Says appreciates your hard work. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. And we're going to do part 3 tomorrow night. We'll dig in a little bit more. I just want to play this little fun factor about Dominique Alexander. We'll hear a little bit more about him and how of a nice guy he is.
Activist Dominique Alexander facing criminal domestic
7 years
violence
ago.
charges, but right now it's not going to happen in Dallas County. That's because the DA today recused his office. Steve Pickett live for us over at Dallas City Hall, where the woman who filed the complaint against Alexander had a little something to say today. Steve?
Doug, Dominique Alexander still in custody here in Dallas County, and as you mentioned, his case in legal limbo as well. That is a result of District Attorney John Crusoe's office issuing this statement earlier this morning. DA's office will recuse itself from activist Dominique Alexander's domestic violence case because of a conflict of interest. That conflict of interest, will Alexander actively campaigned for John Crusoe and his campaign for the DA's office in the past year. Special prosecutor will now have to be appointed. Alexander, the head of Next Generation Action Network, he is accused of physically assaulting the mother of his children. Kiara Saunders told police about 2 acts of violence against her from last Wednesday. That is her accusation. The arrest affidavit indicates that Alexander allegedly choked her after an argument, and also in that case, continually pushed her. Saunders, speaking today for the first time publicly about all of this, who is also, by the way, a candidate for a Dallas City Council seat in Oak Cliff. Well, she said little about it specifically, but we know she went to the hospital, then to police.
In spite of all the negativity, I am strong.
That's right. That's right.
I am strong. I am resilient. And I will not allow these incidents to deter me from my goals.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
I have a dream. I have a vision. There is work to be done.
Part of this process for Dominique Alexander, the criminal justice system, he remains in jail because there's also an issue in Arlington that dates back to 2015, an accusation of another assault against this woman. For whatever reason, Arlington did not move on that case until now. So it too is part of the reason why he remains in custody. We are told he will post bond. He will get an electronic monitor, will be released, but don't expect that to actually happen until Monday. Reporting live, Steve Pickett, CBS 11 News.
You know, not only is he an alleged choker, he is a proven baby shaker and beater, a 2-year-old child. So that's who Dominique Alexander is, and that's who the Anthony family wants to represent them and be their public representative and their spokesperson. If I was a good lawyer, or maybe some friends or family members, I'd say, you know what? You probably don't want that guy around because he's not helping you. He's not helping you out. So with that being said, everybody, we're going to wrap this one up. Let's see. And I just want to make people aware, I do have a website. That's ltlmedianews.com. You can go over there and read about all my articles and action that I do here in my state of Massachusetts, the cases that I follow, the people that I advocate for. Please check them out. I did a lot of work in the Karen Reed case. I've done a lot of work in the Enrique Delgado Garcia case. I'm now talking about Kyron Lopes' case out of Rhode Island. But I encourage everybody to go check it out. And I'll drop the link here in the chat. I want to thank about the over 400 people that watched tonight. We had a lot of people on X watching tonight. We kind of got ratioed out on YouTube, which is perfectly fine. I know a lot of people will catch the replay. And also, if you're not getting my YouTube alerts, you can click this little tab here to alerts. Just go over here and click on the sign and sign up. And I'm sending out text alerts before my stream. So if you want to get informed, you can do that as well. All right, everybody, please make sure to like, share, and subscribe. I appreciate the very well-rounded chat tonight, except for the person that called me a racist. You have no right to do that. You don't know who I am. You don't know my character. And I find that extremely offensive. And hopefully my mod team X'd you out of the chat, that you're not here anymore and you won't be coming back. Because I do a lot of advocacy work, and I encourage you to go over and check out my website and check out my channel and check out on the victims who I speak for and the cases that I break down. And I call shit out the way it is. I don't care if you're black, brown, white, purple, green, red, whatever it is. If you are, I don't care. I don't care about that. We follow the facts, we follow the case, we listen to the court case, and we make our determinations. And that's just the way it is. But anyway, thank you all so much for being here. There was some, I saw a lot of new faces, a lot of new people in the chat tonight. Hopefully they're subscribed. And we'll be back tomorrow night, most likely 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If not, I will definitely be here for a Sunday show, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we'll follow up again and get you geared up for Monday jury selection in the Karmelo Anthony case. And unfortunately, because of the major gag order, we're not going to be able to watch it live, but I'm going to do my best for recaps and such. So, all right, everybody, we're going to get out of here. Thanks again. Take care, everybody. Peace.